What's going on, everybody? Our guest today spent 20 plus years in record promotion at a multitude of labels, mostly independent. Worked with people like Little Texas, Little Big Town, Chris Jansen, Black Jack Billy, Charlie Pride, and Brett Michaels from that famous band Poison. Brad has faced struggles that a lot of people have in the business with being on the road, trying to maintain that home life and overindulging with a nomadic lifestyle. I feel that. We are going to get into it all today. We're going to do it all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Brad Helton. Come on.
This ain't nothing new, you know just what we're doing. Life's hard, but we're gonna make it through it. Life's hard, but we're gonna make it through it. You can't stop this train. You know we not doing it for the fame, but up in the city, people knowing the name. Cause we don't stop, won't stop, yeah, we keep it rolling. Don't stop, won't stop, yeah, we keep it going. You can't stop.
What's going on, boys and girls and whatever's on this earth right now, baby? Here we are. I got my man Brad Helton in the building, baby. How are we feeling?
Man, really good. Really good.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's a great day.
Let me tell you something that just happened in my life, just so I went out this weekend, and we were at the bar, and I was waiting to get a drink, and there was this bartender that came up, and there was me and this African-American girl, beautiful girl. Very beautiful girl, right? And so the bartender comes up to us, and the bartender's like, "I'll be right with y'all." Walks to the left and helps a Caucasian man right after that. So the African American girl goes, "I'm black, you Hispanic, she racist." The bartender, guess what I said? I said, "That's so fucked up, bro. She don't like us, bro." Just like that. I acted as if I was Hispanic for like 2 minutes, and then I went back.
Sold it.
Yeah, I sold it, and then I went back to my boys, and they were like, "What was that girl saying?" And I was like, "If she asks if I'm Hispanic, you tell her I'm Hispanic."
Right.
I don't think I give off the Hispanic vibe.
No, I don't think so. It could be the Oklahoma in you. I don't know.
It might have been the light. The lighting might have messed me up.
You want to name drop the bar? Or probably not.
I mean, I don't even know what happened, but I played it off. I was Hispanic, baby. My last name was Toomey or Juarez, anything.
Juarez.
That was me, brother. Right, and I love the Hispanics, baby. I'm all for them. I love them so much. How are we, baby?
Good, man. Good. It's been a wild ride this year. A lot of stuff cooking with Hooch and working stuff to the DSPs, Spotify, Pandora, stuff like that. Helping a lot of artists. Personal life is going strong. Great girlfriend. Love it. Kids thriving. It's been awesome, man.
Well, I shot an intro so people will know the summary of you, but I want to know, like anyone who's on the camera who doesn't know who you are, how would you explain it yourself?
Oh, shit.
I feel that.
Man, first, honestly, it took me some time over the years to figure out who I was and what was most important and what was the priority in my life. So I used to tell people who are you? Oh, I do this and this for work. Right. And I realized over the pandemic that really doesn't define you. It's who your character is. So one, I'm a father and super proud father and make a lot of work happen to do the things I need to do for that.
Yeah.
But also worked terrestrial radio promotion for years for record labels.
Wow.
Switched over about 8 years ago to focus on the streaming platforms, Spotify and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And kicked off this thing with Hooch with you guys.
Yeah.
And Demps and all these people and just loving it, man. It's so much fun.
It's been an incredible ride so far with Demps and myself and the whole crew. What where does it come with you? When does Hooch come into the story for you? How does this become a thing?
Well, my business partner Edgel and I knew each other from the streaming promotions world.
Okay.
He was in LA. I was here. Worked together well in that arena, if you will. And when he moved here, we were just kind of talking about what's in Nashville, what's happening, how the city's a vibe. How do we capture that and bring it to the people in a different format than most people have the ability to see. If you're sitting in Iowa somewhere or wherever it may be, how do you get to experience Nashville if you can't be here. So we started kicking around ideas and like, man, like nobody's really doing. I mean, I know there's a couple podcasts here and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nothing that really I felt or we felt that encompassed what was happening in the city and the culture and the music scene and how do we bring that to people. So we kind of kicked it off. We had a radio station that's on online.
Man.
Started producing music
shit-
ourselves for that. We really
Hello.
we didn't even know what we were doing,
Yeah.
really, and it was just kind of like spitballing.
I feel like a lot of that starts from that.
Yeah,
Not knowing what
totally.
you're doing, just being able to just go out and just try.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing, man. Like we were winging it, and like it's almost like, you know, are you too stupid to try or stupid not to? You know what I mean? Like, and we'd rather be, I don't know, just like gangbusters and like go in hard on something because like why the fuck not? Honestly, you know what I mean?
Totally, man.
So we started the station. We were doing that. We started the podcast. We were renting a studio. We were paying other people to do like the camera work and stuff like that. And some of the stuff we shot on iPhones, and you know the iPhones are great now. I mean, everything's shot.
Man,
in 4K.
you ain't lying. Them
So then we just kind of started expanding. Now we got I think around 12 people on the team.
Great
a few
team.
shows, looking to expand, stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
just been a blast. And that's the most important thing to me is like, I've been in the quote unquote music business for a long time. I
Yep.
grew up around it. I mean, ever
Yep.
since I was a kid, I was around it. But, you know, getting excited about building stuff and building something like this is like super important to me because it's fun, it's
Yeah.
exciting, it's delivering something, it's providing an outlet for artists who might not have the opportunity to do so
Totally.
in other arenas. You know, radio is very difficult. The labels are hard nuts to crack sometimes for independent artists.
Man,
And
speaking of
giving
nuts
a megaphone
cracking,
for them
son,
is
damn.
like important to us. So.
Bro, no, that's something that like I've always been a fan of. I was talking to Dimps earlier. Well, I mean, we're just in a mindset to where like we want everyone to win.
Yeah.
And I have some boys that are trying to start up a business. They don't have any followers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have anything going, but just the motivation to try something and get people to catch on has always been something to me where it's like, I'm going to root for you and I'm not going to ask for free merch. I'm going to buy that merch
Right.
because I get how that starts up. And I feel like that's something that, I mean, we've known each other for a while, but it's like, you have to have a different mindset to start like a business or get this idea. You have to be able to, number one, I feel like, have motivation. Two, you can't really give a shit what anyone thinks.
Right.
Because
we definitely don't.
The ones that'll usually comment on it aren't doing shit. Because
Right.
if they were doing something, they wouldn't say anything. It's
Yeah.
like they're doing their own business. They don't have time. So I really respect.
Well, I
you
think
and Ed
there
and
are
all-
probably
everyone for that.
haters out there that we don't even know about.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
look at these jabronis like firing up a podcast like they know what they're
I
doing.
sweet
But, like,
chin music
honestly,
them.
like I don't
Yeah.
know who they are and I've never heard it, but I'm sure they're there. I don't
totally.
really give a damn, honestly.
Man, me
and
neither,
you
bro.
know, it's hard to get to that point, I think, in your life to be able to not care what other people think.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have our own struggles, and
Totally.
you know, there's some reflections that like you have on yourself that may be this or maybe that.
Yeah.
But if you could push through those things and just build. Well, somebody once told me there are some people built to be fed, and then there are other people built to where they go out, they hunt it,
Yeah.
they shoot it,
Yeah.
they field dress it,
Yeah.
they drag it back. They
On the
cook
dinner
it,
table, baby.
Then they feed everybody else, and then they feed themselves. And that's a lot of people I'm surrounded by, musicians, artists, other entrepreneurs. They're all like that, you know.
I think that's so what a great like quote. Where does that come from for you though? Where do you get that motivation? Is it a home thing? Is it one of your parents? Where do you get that motivation to be like, I want to feed I want everyone. I want these people to win. I want to get the last plate at the dinner plate.
Yeah. Which is
But
tough to do sometimes.
Right,
yeah.
but I'm gonna be good with it. Do you know any like a certain?
My dad's an entrepreneur. I mean,
Yeah.
he's in the music business. He started in radio. He started in college radio, I think, just to promote his fraternity's parties and get girls there.
Smart
honestly.
man, right there,
Yeah.
baby.
And then he built from there, and you know, he always worked for stations and things like that, and but was a self starter as well. He grew up in a very blue collar family in Chicago.
Yeah.
But, you know, somewhere along the way, when we moved to Nashville, He's had his own syndicated radio show that was a chart show, and he wrote for a publication. Then he started his own publication.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I think my family is very, very like strangely like we're a unit, but it's like independently like go after what you choose.
Totally.
And like my sister was a soccer star. She's in the neurosurgery department at Vanderbilt now. My mom worked for American Airlines for 40 years. Like built her way up from taking phone calls all the way up to like a gate agent or like one of the people that wears the coat. Like everybody just kind of did their thing.
Brad, bro, there's something different in those gate agents, bro. I mean, every time I go to the airport, I see them getting bitched at every time.
Man, and I don't know how she did it.
Bro, I would want to pop someone every day. They deal with it every day.
Dude, she did it with a smile, and she got voted like, employee of the month or whatever they do there. And I'm like, how the hell do you do it? And she goes, those sons of bitches have worse days than me. If they're bitching at me, they must be having a terrible day. And I would smile at them, and I'm sure occasionally she would go ham.
Bro, I've seen like 2 or 3 instances recently, and 2 of the 3 were the same where it was like, ma'am, I can't help you with this flight. I can't do this.
Right.
One of them, though, I was going to a flight to Dallas, and it was one of those, you got one of them girls that just ain't going to put up with it.
Right.
So she just started going crazy on this client that was I think she was trying to get an extra seat or trying to wait to see if she could get on a flight or something. And that girl wasn't putting up with shit. And I love that, bro.
You imagine having like a shitty day just in your personal life and then having to go to work and have like thousands of people come across your desk and 10% of them are bitching at you about something. Like, dude, it's out of my control. It's an airplane.
Exactly.
I'm not flying it.
The one that hurts me at airports is, sometimes when I'm waiting to board up, I'll get by the gate and just be by the gate agent. And most of the questions are like, am I on the right flight?
Yeah, like,
when do I board? A10. So when do I go?
Right.
And it's like, bro.
Yeah.
That's where I'd lose my patience.
Yeah.
Read it.
Hey, how about this? Like,
it's right there.
Being asked the same question constantly. Like after a while, like we would all lose it, wouldn't we?
We would all lose it. That's like that, but that's wild. Well, man, I want to get into like some of the real world stuff that you go through. I mean, that can't be easy. You've just been traveling, getting after it. First question I have. My first concert, didn't even tell you this, my first concert I ever went to was Poison, Def Leppard, and Kiss. No, AC/DC.
Nice.
And that was wild. They were all together. And you worked with Bret Michaels a little bit?
Yeah, we...
what the hell is that about?
I worked... Well, he put out some country stuff or worked a few things to country radio, and, it wasn't, like, wildly successful or anything like that. It was kind of everybody wants to know Bret Michaels. You take him to radio, they want to hang out with him, but, like...
It's a good-looking man.
Yeah, and he's super cool, man. He's, like, probably...
And good-looking.
He's good-looking, too. He had the bandana and the hair. And,
he knew what he was doing.
Super nice guy, super sharp, had a plan, had a strategy, put it into play. A lot of times it's just you kind of go up against that radio conglomerate or the radio beast, and it's it's a very competitive world.
Totally.
I don't knock them for what they do, but it's tough. It's tough. But he was super cool, down to earth, just like one of the dudes. And like if you had an idea, he would run with it
hard
and be willing. And that's the most important thing that I saw with him, but a lot of artists, that if you're willing to do the work, you will have successes. Now, obviously, he already had successes and stuff like that with Poison, but I've seen it from Low Cash to Jansen to
Jansen, man, got the Bass Pro line now.
Yeah.
I've bought some hats.
Yeah,
that's crazy though.
Yeah, I mean it's just the hustle, dude. Like. And you can see it in Bret Michaels, right? He's like, I have hustled before. I know what this game looks like, and I'm still willing to do it. And I think that's really important. Like it's like never full, always hungry.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I totally agree. And that's, I mean, that's just cool that you've gotten to experience just to kind of see them behind the scenes. And what's the biggest thing you've seen? You've worked with the artists. What's the biggest thing you've seen behind the scenes that artists struggle with or don't bring to life? What's something that you've seen and like a common denominator?
I think the same thing that we all struggle with. Am I good enough? did they like me? Did that sound like shit? Or things like that. And you're talking about, I won't name names, but like you're talking about like you just played in front of 25,000 people and you still struggle with, do they like me? And and I've said to people like, do you hear them singing your songs back? And
It's a great point.
I think it's something that we all struggle with. Like no matter if you're, on the very top of the mountain or at the very, base beginning those steps, will they like me? Do they like me? And I think that's, everybody in our personal life and business and this. Now it's maybe different for like people like yourself or whatever. Like you're literally putting yourself on stage.
Totally.
So it's like, to me, that would be like a sickening feeling. Like,
Totally.
I couldn't imagine doing that. But I've seen, Little Big Town, some of the best people in the world, greatest harmonies, amazing band, great work ethic, go from like 10 people eating pizza as they're performing to like opening for Keith Urban and people singing back like the record that we were working at the time, and it became a hit. And it's just it's a great feeling. Like I don't know how they do it, how y'all do it, but it's got to be a high. So, but that there's also those lows. You're like, was it good?
There is something about that, bro, because I've seen 2 podcasts in the last 24 hours. I'm a big podcast guy, which is kind of cool because I do one.
Right.
But Zach Bryan was talking about the same thing. He said I had 25,000 people at this festival, and I forgot the words, and I was the most anxious person that I've ever, I'm the most anxious person. Hardy said the same thing. He said one time he was getting really wild on a song, almost passed out, and he was like, the next 10 shows, he couldn't get over his head. He was like, oh my God, I can't do that again. And I feel like a lot of artists feel that way. Like a lot of the people watching are thinking these are like, super, like they have superpowers, but it's like they go through the same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we good enough? Did they even like that type vibe? And that's cool to hear you say that.
And they got lives at home and their kids struggling at school or having a bad, whatever it may be. And you got to turn that off and go on stage and do your thing.
Yep.
But like, I'll bet you the nerves are still there. I mean, 100%. I bet you can't always have the switch on, but you have to because people pay to come see you and stuff like that. You got to give them a great show. But, I always wonder like just what people are going through in their life. Like you come in here and you like do this great thing, but like what was their life like that day? Like
totally,
how bad was it? Did they wreck their car and still had to go play the show? Or did they miss their flight? Or
people don't realize that stuff.
Did their wife say it's over or whatever it may be?
There's something about it. People just like, people going to the shows think that, or to the game, athletes, they're like, these girls have the perfect life. They had they had breakfast made for them. Then they've had a massage and they had a pedicure, and then they came to the show miraculously, and they're perfect.
Right.
Just know how it goes.
No.
And that's something that I've been trying to realize, that like, you gotta just keep going and just do the best you can, because I have a lot of artist buddies. Obviously, you've worked with a lot and you have a lot. Like, we all go through the same shit.
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't matter how many followers, how many people are coming to your we all go through the same shit.
Yeah, it was funny. Like when I was on the road, we do radio tours and stuff. And like I'd have a bad day, or I'd have an argument with a girlfriend at the time, or whatever it may be, right? You just have a shitty day. And you have to wake up, and you have to go put on the face, and you have to smile, shake the hands, all that stuff. And you go, and that's what made me realize, like, I expect these artists to do what I need them to do while we're on the road. But I just had a bad day. What if they are too? And like, basically would tell people like, it's okay if you're, if you need to talk about anything, if you're having a bad day or whatever, that's cool. It's not a problem. But when we walk in these doors, like, we got to present this thing. Yeah. And it's okay to be vulnerable with that too. And you could even somehow intertwine that with your conversation. Like, man, this and this, and, I wrote a song about it or whatever it may be.
Totally.
So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting life that you guys have, but I think the misconception in the public's eye is that you're right, that it's just this like grandiose thing that like, oh, you're rolling around on private jets.
Right.
What could be your problem?
Exactly.
What do you have to bitch about with all your money and planes and houses and cars? You go, and there's a multitude of things.
Yeah. I think the next question I have is, I mean, you spend a lot of time on the road. You've been around some rock stars, country stars. What is what did you struggle with? What are some things that you went through that anyone that's going on the road, what are some things that you battled with? Because we all go through them. That you're willing to share. What's some things that went on?
Yeah, man, a lot. Like, where do I even begin? I mean, I've lost, girlfriends, whatever, to the road, things like that. You're gone all the time. Like, it's kind of sucks. Is like, at least in my situation, I won't speak for anybody else, but in my situation, it was like very difficult to maintain like a home life.
Yeah.
But also be gone for a few weeks or a month at a time.
Yeah.
And then expect the things to be normal when you come home, where like when your job's, is very abnormal. And there's a lot of late nights and there's a lot of like shows that you're going to and things like that. And you may not be able to check in or whatever, but when you come home, you want life to be your perception of normal, but it just isn't, because everybody else is struggling with their shit too.
Spot on.
Right. But like, my daughter lives in a different state. That relationship with her mom kind of split with a lot of the issues of like being gone all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's rabbit holes you go down because you do have to keep that switch on. And how do you do that? And like, obviously there's like, overindulgences and things like that kind of like that mask what you're going through, but
totally,
but you think tries to helps you get through those things.
Exactly. I totally agree.
There's a lot of shit that like was love and lost, but like to me it was a huge education. And it took me a while to get to a point where I could see like a little bit clearer. I had like a really good friend kind of straighten me up. Went away to like a wellness camp, did some deep thinking over COVID,
wow,
things like that. But like it was 20 some years of just compounded like, it's kind of an insane life being like a road dog,
Yeah,
if you're
for
out
sure.
there, it's hard. And I think we all struggle with that, but we all struggle with the fact that you're trying to mask shit to try to make up for it or try to convince yourself everything's going to be okay or whatever. And like a lot of times it just isn't.
It isn't.
And then it could really be damaging and when things leave, people leave. You come home and this was like auto draft out of accounts, but like you come home and the fucking power's out. You're like, God, what I mean? Like, especially like if you're a single guy. Like I lived in a home, like a 5-bedroom home by myself, and I was on the road, on the West Coast for like weeks on end, months at times, and I'd come home and be like, dude, this house is like there's the lights were cut off because I forgot to pay the bill or something like that. Just it wasn't even in my mind, but like I had to reground myself after many years on the road.
What does that process look like to where, because someday I think I'll be on the road nonstop and artists watching this. What did you do to kind of, ground yourself and just find that balance to where you were okay to get through it, and like with the family stuff and all the vices that are there? Like what helped you?
Man, my good buddy he had a pretty stern talk with me about kind of letting things off the rails.
Yeah.
And, getting a little loose in the turns, and COVID kind of messed me up because I hadn't seen my daughter, and like, there wasn't a lot of travel. I had to be conscious of like her mom's, concern about COVID and all that. So I hadn't seen my daughter in 45 days, something like that. And I was, just like a lot of people, like drinking a little bit too much.
Yeah.
All my friends had, have kids, and there wasn't a lot of like socializing for me. So it was really just me.
Man.
And my thoughts, which are never good.
No, I feel that one, bro.
But what got me through, like what helped me is like my buddy like talked to me. I figured I needed a break. Like I was like very close to just like a complete breakdown, right?
Yeah.
And those kind of evil thoughts started to come in your head where it's like, I'm not worthy. What am I do? Like what are we here for?
Oh yeah.
The whole world shut down.
Oh yeah.
You're in this house by yourself. You haven't seen anybody in a long time. And I went to a place about 30 miles outside of Nashville. That's basically like a wellness place. And it's like you just spend time, you reground yourself, no phones, no technology, no TV, no news, no radio, nothing, right?
And it was still open during COVID? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep. It was open during COVID. Obviously, you had to like test and stuff like that.
Totally.
But it was really just like a faith-based thing.
Yeah.
Redirect your life, learn about priorities, learn about managing your expectations of yourself and the expectations you think others have on you. When ultimately everybody's got their own life going on, no one's really thinking about you.
Wow.
When you perceive that
Spot on.
everyone's thinking about you.
Spot on, dude.
You know what I mean? So
spot on.
I just reshifted that and came home and just, I don't know, retooled the whole situation. And I was really mad all the time. I was really angry, really negative. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't have like people. I have great friends. I have a great family. What's there to be mad about? But I was just mad.
Mad.
You know what I mean? And, now I meditate. I wake up in the morning. I'm happy. Things could piss you off during the day. But, like, if people piss you off, honestly, everybody's just trying to do their best in life. Maybe they're having a shitty day. We go back to that, right? Like, it's all right, man. Like, somebody pisses you off, like, maybe they're having a shitty day. I'm not going to make it my shitty day.
Exactly.
And, I mean, dude, we work with so many people. So many things go wrong throughout a day. Like, dude, if it burns you, like, you're cooked for a long time. So don't let it burn you.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Exactly. I think that's huge, man. And that's something I struggled with too, man. I mean, I deal with a lot of anxiety. Just, what people think of me. Used to really bad. Now I've gotten better at it to where it's like you can either like me or not like me, and if you don't like me, I don't care.
Right.
It's like I don't care because you're not going to do anything for me. If you're not supporting me, if you're not like liking what I'm doing, we probably should just not like. It's fine with you not to like. Let's just not be friends.
But that's the thing.
I totally get it.
You like that's so much energy. Oh, like why? Like.
I used to care a lot though, bro.
Yeah, of course. But like, it's a lot of energy for people to like dislike someone. And I don't know. I think everybody is inherently good, right? I just think that like for certain reasons they may not like you or they may not like something or whatever it is, or they're jealous.
Yeah.
Or they're unhappy in themselves.
Yes.
That they have to be unhappy for you.
Yeah.
And to me, that's, hey, that's them, dude. Like, I'm willing to talk to anybody. If you have a problem, like, dude, call me, hit me up. Like,
that's right.
If you don't like me, I'll fucking talk to you.
That's right.
Shit.
The cliche thing that I've tried, it's very cliche and it's said all the time, but I've tried to get better at, man, is killing with kindness.
Yeah.
And that's not been easy because people that say a lot of dumb shit to me and they're like, they're just idiots. It's just like, dude, it's hard to really be kind to you just because I know you're stupid.
Yeah.
But it's like when I've tried to like practice on that. I really have. Like when someone's being a doucher or Instagram or TikTok comment, kill them with kindness. This song's ass. Too much auto-tune. Hit them with, you're right, man.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah. You're right. This is too much auto-tune.
And also, did you know that they're hiring A&R executives down on Music Row? So you should probably go apply.
Yes.
Such a great.
You should do music. You know what you're doing. And, I think that's helped me a lot, which I don't even think I've shared with like my mental health is when I'm killing them with kindness. And I've seen a lot of other artists start doing that too, where it's like, you're fake country, you're da-da-da. You're like, bought this cowboy hat at Walmart. Just do some dumb shit where it's like good kindness, but it's like, you know what? Let's make yourself feel good. And then I got a feeling that whenever these people read these comments back, they're expecting us to give them attention.
Yeah.
We agree with them. They're like, oh, I kind of look stupid right now.
I'm a big believer too in like everybody has to like go to bed by themselves with their own thoughts, right?
Oh, hello.
So if you're a complete ass during the day, or you're like sniping on somebody, like throwing around bullshit to somebody, like, man, you still got to go to like. Are you proud of that moment?
Yeah.
Did it make you feel better? And like when you lay your head down at night, is that something you can look back on and reflect and be like, that was a win for me today?
Yeah.
Like that's shitty. And like, like I said, people are inherently good, I believe. So like,
I love that.
Maybe, maybe their bad day leaked into something and they wanted to take it out on, on Jake Banfield or whoever else. And it's like, I feel for them, really.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like, I hope you find a better day tomorrow.
Me too. I think that's a big part of it is, negativity stems from an insecurity, like you said, or it stems from someone having a bad day or them not being able to live their dream, like the dream that we might be living. They might they might have wanted to do that. Now they're taking it out on us because they haven't done it for whatever reason.
Right.
And there's just something about it, man. There's some type of maturity or something whenever you can come back with kindness, dude, it's just like,
yeah.
That's been a big part of my life because in the middle of quarantine is when shit started popping for me, and it was like a lot of people gonna start hating when you start getting a lot of views or you get they're gonna start hating. And at the beginning, I really struggled. I was like, why don't you like me? Because if you met me in person, we would get along.
Right.
Like I don't dislike anyone. If you meet me in person, I will like you. And if I don't like you, I won't be mean to you. I just won't go talk to you. And whenever I could get over that hump to where it was like there's something going on in their life, and I don't know why I'm the one that they're taking it out on, but it's not that personal. It's really not. It kind of changed my train of thought. You know?
I think that's important, man. I mean, hey, you could almost bridge a friendship out of that too. Like somebody's throwing shit at you, open up your house, open up your arms to them, and like open up, your thoughts to them, and maybe they might become a fan.
Totally.
I don't know, man. It's a weird world we live in because people are just so like prompted to be mad or mean when there's something going on to somebody else. We often take it out on people
we love,
or even just like in a weird internet world on somebody that we don't even think will see it or
that
back.
True.
So it's easy to be like a cocksucker cowboy from fucking behind a keyboard, but like
totally,
if that's cool with them. That's fine. If that's what gets you through your day,
right?
I'm sorry for you, but go ahead.
Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've got any haters out there. Maybe some of my exes probably.
Oh yeah, baby.
But you know what? Like, man, I don't know. We just struggle to be a good person, to be good people, and we all struggle with that. It's tough sometimes.
It is, man, and I think that leads me to like my kind of like the last thing I really want to talk about is just really, I mean, you've been vulnerable on this one, and I've talked to you behind the scenes, been through some shit, man, and we all have, and it's like, what advice do you have for people really going through it, whether it's family life, relationship life, addiction life? What advice do you have? And you might not have the perfect answer, but your perspective could save some people. What advice do you have for anyone that's really going through it? Feels like they're not worth anything. Feels like they can't ever beat this addiction. Feels like blah 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 blah, which I'm not saying in a bad way. There's a lot of things. What advice do you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but like, you're not alone. I mean, there's so many people, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, but there's so many people that have struggled with either addiction or depression or loneliness, whatever it may be, that there's literally another dude. You could throw a rock and hit somebody that's probably in the same situation, maybe not exactly, but somebody that can relate to your story, or you can relate to theirs, and figure out what's working for you, and can I try that? You know what I mean? Because it's really just worth the shot. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I mean,
better than doing
Angus,
nothing.
Was it Angus Cloud?
Yep, Angus Cloud.
I'm not sure what happened, but I've heard rumors. I just saw a friend of mine's daughter's classmate turned himself into heaven, I guess, if you want to say it, at 18. I think he was 18.
Oh,
but like, that's the thing is like, there is literally a guy or a girl, whoever, a person within a stone's throw that's been through something similar. So all you got to do is talk, ask, and if you're like in some kind of issue in your head, you're the only one talking to yourself in your head. So you better go talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, I don't know if that's advice, but that's what I did.
It is advice. And I think a big part of what you just said, a big piece that I struggled with too, that really saved me, is being able to speak up and not feel like you're weak.
Yeah.
Even if you are weak.
Yeah.
Speak up and what you just said, there's a lot of people going through the same. It's a different scenario. You're right. But whether it's addiction, that got out of a relationship, bad family life, there's a lot of people going through the same shit. And if you're able to speak up and be vulnerable,
Sure.
it helps a lot for me. It helps a lot for me to see other people going through the same thing, same type thing that I'm going through. That really helped me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, especially like what you're doing and your part in doing this podcast also, but also, sharing your story or allowing other people to share their stories. Someone could go, that sounds like me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's all right. Like, shit, I know it doesn't sound okay right now.
Yes.
I know it's the fucking worst.
Yes.
I've been there. I've
Yes.
been in the hole. I've been by myself.
Yes.
You literally only think you're the only person going through it. And it's literally just, I know a guy named Josh who does a lot of advocacy for suicide hotline stuff. I know a handful of people that work in treatment centers. I know a handful of friends that have been through treatment and are sober. I know a handful of people that are just willing to like open their ears.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, man.
Me. Look, dude, I mean, some of the biggest struggle I had is my kid and her mom, going to a different state and me having to like figure out life to be a dad in a different state, centered here. And most people would, and I've struggled with this, do I move there?
Yep.
But this industry is here in Nashville. So I wasn't quite sure how I was going to be able to navigate those waters.
Right.
I do a ton of travel to go get her, go see her, all that, or my daughter. And I'm able to talk about it and have helped some other friends that have gone through that same thing, different scenarios. But if I let it eat me, like, I don't know if I'd be here today. Like, it was a very, very, very hard time in my life.
Yeah.
3 straight years of custody battle. And God bless her mom. Like, we had it out.
Yeah.
Ugly, but we work really well together now, and I think that's really important. And we make it work. And when you realize it's about one particular thing, not your own. Your own selfishness. That's important. But had I not been able to talk to people about that, or voice what I was going through with those struggles. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I'd be here. Like, it was,
bro.
tough,
it's just really cool how vulnerable you are. Just to speak up, because I think a lot of people that'll watch this, or if they come across it, I don't know when, maybe in 2030. It's just the thing that's done it for me is putting out music. And I've seen it especially on YouTube and TikTok, is to where you can go to your comment section and you'll see, for example, take this pain. There's one of the top comments is a guy that was in the military and really struggles with like PTSD, and that song made him feel a certain way to where he felt like he found comfort in it. And then if you can go right now and go look at the replies to that comment.
Wow.
You see, I'm going to just minimum 30, probably 50 other military guys or girls that are like, I feel this same way. Right. And you'll see them in the comment section just go back and forth like a therapy session.
Yeah.
And there's just something about it, dude, to where, we've said it on this, but it's like there's just a lot of people going through this same type of situation, not scenario, but same situation.
Yeah, there's similarities in all struggles. I mean, things are really based on fear.
Yes.
Things are based on anxiety. I'm not good enough, things like that. So there's similarities between like somebody that's going through like either alcoholism or depression or whatever it may be. There's that like common thread, I think, that is woven through everyone.
Yeah.
That you can relate. If we have different ailments or struggles or whatever, we could find a commonality somehow.
Totally.
And be able to get through it together. Like, man, I don't know about you, but this is how I did my thing or whatever. And here's what helped me. And like, man, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Why don't you come do this? Things like that.
Totally.
But I believe that like mental health is like, especially after COVID, like I always said, like, man, there's going to be like rehab centers like everywhere after COVID, right? Because like, I mean, what did a lot of people do? They were doing Zoom calls.
Oh yeah.
With, drinking wine or at 9 a.m. or whatever it is. It's like
totally, bro.
The accountability was weird.
I did that a couple times,
right,
bro.
Right. But like,
I was writing songs like 10 a.m.
Right.
It's like, boys, let's get a shot in before we make this song right here. Crazy time, bro.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, it was something that we've never faced before. But like, I think that mental health is so important that like it's not focused on. I talked to a guy that's 40 years older than me, and he was like, "Oh, mental health problem." No, I don't have any mental health problems. So I'm like, man, that is bullshit. Like everybody does. Like everyone. Man, if you break your arm, you go to the doctor.
Facts.
You break your brain, you just ignore it. Like that's fucked.
Dude, and that's where, man, that's so true, dog. I wish it was, and that's what we're doing. I'm not going to say I wish. We're normalizing to where, you're right, you break a bone, you're going to go to the doctor, go get a cast, go get whatever. The main part of this mental health type thing that I'm trying to promote is, if something's going on, bro, let's talk up about it. Like you're going to the doctor. Yeah. You can go talk to a therapist. You can go talk to your family and go talk to your girl, whatever the case may be. It changes things. Yeah. And I think that's what I love about Hooch and you. And it's like, you guys are cool with me bringing that on here. And
100%.
Just in general, let's just like normalize. That's what I say, normalize mental health, but normalize dealing with these feelings, bro. And like knowing you're not a weirdo for feeling this. We all feel it, just most people won't say anything.
Right.
Normalize it to where, speak up, dude, or like speak up. Like just whatever you're going through, I promise other people are going through the same.
It's so hard out there.
It's
anyways.
hard.
Why do it alone?
Yeah.
It's insane. Why do it alone? Talk to somebody. Get help. Talk to a friend. Talk to a stranger.
Talk to them.
Sometimes some of my best conversations are waiting in airports. So after I drop my daughter off and just strike up a conversation with some random person and hear about their life. You know what I mean? Like
that'll open your mind up too, man. Yeah. It really will. And a thing that what was it, 2 months ago or a month ago? I made this like goal to like once a week, I'm going to go. I said it on the earlier podcast. I don't remember which one, but to where I'm going to go to a person that's homeless. I'm going to buy them a meal. I'm just not the type to really give them money. If you do, but I'm going to buy them a meal, buy them a drink, and let's talk. Like what's going on? Yeah. And
how'd you get here?
Those conversations,
what helps you get out,
will change your world.
Do you think? I mean, that's the thing is like a lot of the people that we know, people out there that have it way worse, and instead of focusing on your struggles or your problems, you could talk to somebody about your stuff, but the best therapy to me is helping other people. So go out and do something for somebody else.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be selfish, but that's like the little trick is that it's selfish for you. It is in a way for yourself too. You're helping someone and that actually makes you feel good too.
I totally agree. I want to challenge anyone watching this.
Yes.
It doesn't have to do with money. It doesn't have to do with anything. Number one, the easiest thing, cliche thing you would say is to just be kind to someone in the week. But the thing
ain't that hard, is it?
Man, it ain't. But some people. But I'm telling you, here's one thing that I'll say to the camera. A thing that I've tried to do is every Monday, right before I'm going to my session, I'm going to go to a drive-through, get me a drink. I'm going to say, and I know some people don't have the money for this, so I absolutely believe it. Shit, I'm struggling too. But I'm going to be like, Will you pay for the order behind me? I want to
Right.
get this person behind me.
Right,
See
right.
if you can start a change. There's just something about it to where when you're helping other people that you don't even know, strangers, it'll do something. So it doesn't have to be like the drive-through thing, but help a stranger, help someone you don't know. That shit rocks, bro.
I've been guilty of looking in the rearview mirror like, did they get it?
Did they get mine, motherfucker? They better go. No, exactly, bro. I thought about the same
Right,
thing,
right.
bro. So
no,
man,
I agree with that, dude. That's awesome.
Just-
I mean, dude, to get back to like music stuff, like, that's where I've seen even the, I think the only person I probably didn't see it from was Charlie Pride, but I didn't really work with him that much, but because I really never came across him that much. But, every artist that I've ever worked with, it's been the same thing. And I think a lot of those people have that same mentality too. They do grind.
Yeah.
They do hustle.
Yeah.
They are willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And that means for their career, but also for themselves. 'Cause
Totally.
I think that's the crux of it all. The willingness.
The willingness.
To go to work, the willingness to go grind, the willingness to make yourself happy,
Yeah.
the willingness to help other people, things
Yeah.
like that. And that to me, I was thinking about this morning, like, plaques on walls, things like that. Like those are big trophies and things, right? And those are great to have, and it shows your accomplishments,
Totally.
or the artist's accomplishments, or where those are. But the turn of what I find is success more so is like centered happiness for other people and for myself and for the people that I love. And that's it. That's like, you can't take those plaques with you, shit like that. Those are really cool to have.
Totally.
Those accomplishments are amazing.
Totally.
And kudos to anybody that's hanging those things. But for me, like, it comes back to the first question you asked. What do you do? I'm a father.
Yeah.
What do I do for work? I'll tell you about that if you want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just think it's huge, bro. And I think another thing that's huge is you just being vulnerable about it. And I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
No, I really
Yeah.
appreciate it because that's just not easy to do. A lot of people will get through something, but they'll be, they'll keep it to themselves, which is totally fine. But I think it's really healthy to, if you've been through something, to share your experience, how you got through that to help others that are going through it right now.
Oh, sure, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I wish there was more time to help people or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But the fact is, like, you got to be in a good place to help other people too, and that could change their mindset to where they're gonna pay it forward, like you said in the drive-through.
I totally
Same
agree.
kind of thing,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Brother, I mean, I really appreciate you coming
Dude.
on, man. This
Yeah.
was last second, but it was like,
Yeah.
I was really excited once you were down to come on, man, because
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
talked a little bit, but this has been incredible. So I really appreciate you, dude.
Dude, I love it. I love what you're doing. I love your
you.
messaging.
Thanks.
I think what you're doing is important. Your music is super important because
Thank
it
you.
crosses a lot of these lines too.
Thank you, brother.
Which is important to, like you said, there's people out there that hear it and it means something to them.
Yes.
And it helps them. And that to me is a success or an apex of a music career.
Yeah.
Is where you can actually touch somebody. So
Yeah.
that's really, really cool.
Well, thank
and
you,
to be a
brother.
part of that, I appreciate that.
Thank you,
I know
brother.
the whole team here appreciates that. And it's, to be a fraction or a sliver of that is important to us.
Man, it's a blessing, bro. It's just it's a blessing to just be a part of this team that's able to, I've been trying to be a vessel to people that don't know how to speak, and you guys have given me the platform to bring it on another level outside of music onto like the talking stage on the podcast stage, and I just really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
we love having you on.
And man, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I love
dude.
it. Well, man, I really appreciate you, dude, and we're just gonna keep getting after it, aren't we?
Let's do it.
That's it, baby.
Let's do it.
Well, y'all, thank y'all for tapping into another episode of A Break with Jake. Got my man here, Brad Helton. We got some great stuff here, brother. I appreciate you again.
My pleasure, brother.
My brother. All right, man. Well, y'all peace out. Y'all be safe. Be good to one another.
But we're gonna make it through it. You can't stop this train. You know we not doing it for the fame, but up in the city, people knowing the name. Cause we don't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we keep it rolling. Don't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we keep it going. You can't stop.